Hi, welcome. My name is Andrea, and today we'll be going over some of the sourcing applications that come with Seller 365. So let's go ahead and jump into the InventoryLab side of things. All right, what we're looking at right now is Scout. Scout is the web-based online arbitrage research tool within InventoryLab that provides category, rank, and fee details for products. Now, before we search for items, let's go ahead and set up Ideal Buy. Now, Ideal Buy, we have product alerts where we can check for Amazon restrictions for items, but we also have something called Ideal Buy. And Ideal Buy is where you create like a formula for your perfect purchase, where you can have Amazon as not the merchant, maybe you want a great rank only, and maybe you want to only compete against a certain number of offers. Let's go ahead and go back to Scout and look up some information and look up some products to see if we have any ideal buys. I'm going to type in, you can either type in an ASIN, UPC, ISBN, or product title, or you can scan it as well. I'm going to go ahead and just look up unicorns. All right, so we have a few matches right here. While we are gated from selling them because we are in a test account, we see here that they are ideal buys because they do match the other parameters that we have highlighted. So I'm going to go ahead and select this item right here. And we can see here we have a lot of options. So we have our offers over here. We have the highlight of the buy box with this little icon right here. And then we have our research shortcuts that can be edited by clicking this pencil right here. Now there are a few that All right, let's go ahead and select this item and see how profitable it can be. All right, so we have a lot of information up here. We have a target cost per unit, and that's based off of a setting that we have where we have a desired ROI. So if I go to my settings right here, I'll be able to see if I go to calculations, be able to see if I go to research, there I have a desired ROI of 25%. So in order for me to get that 25% ROI, I'm going to have to get that target cost, which is $259. Then we have the rank and category, we have the size tier, a bunch of other information on the product like weight and dimensions. We can also see that it is an ideal buy. Now, over here we have all of our offers that have come through the Amazon API. We can see here that this is the buy box. This little icon notifies us that this $12.99 is the current buy box and it's in new condition. Now down here we have a few links where we can actually look up research. We can see how much this is on eBay. We can do a Google search. We can even use camel, camel, camel. You can create custom research shortcuts. This one goes to a few pricing history websites. You can also create one as long as it has an ASIN in the URL. And you can go ahead and see more details on how to do that in our help articles. But below that, we have our profit calculator. And we can click this gear right next to our profit calculator, and it's going to bring up some stuff for us that we can input. So we have our sales tax rate that can be included in our total. If we had a discount, maybe we could, maybe we're using our Target Circle card, we can put in 10% here. Estimated storage time is how long you think it will be in the warehouse for. And then below that, we have our inbound FBA shipping rate. So that indicates how much we pay per pound, sending our items into the FBA center. Let's go ahead and close our settings. We can see here, so in order to get that 25% ROI, we have to get the 226 right here. So let's say that we actually found it for 215. So we can see our list price. It's currently matching the buy box. If we want to change it to any of these other boxes, if we want to change it to any of these other prices, we can go ahead and just select it up here, or we can type it manually. You can see our average net profit per unit is going to be 72 cents. And then our ROI is going to be 31.44%. Now, looking back over here under the profitability tab, we have our cost per unit already entered for us, how much tax that comes from our settings. Now, these come from the Amazon catalog, our Amazon referral fee, along with our FBA fulfillment fee. closing fee, if there was any. Estimated shipping, that comes from our settings, but it is calculated by the weight. Then we have our monthly storage, that's based on our settings as well. And then lithium-ion battery fee, if this were a hazmat item, that would come through the Amazon API. So our total expenses are down here, and we can actually see it visualized on this half circle right here, how much our expenses are compared to our net profit. You can also see the history of this product if we have ever purchased it or sold it before. You can also see a storage graph as well. So that's it for Scout. That's it for Scout on the that's it for Scout and InventoryLab on the desktop for online arbitrage. Let's go ahead and move over to Scoutify, which is our mobile app. All right, so what we're looking at right here is Scoutify. This is included with your Seller 365 subscription and can be on multiple devices at no extra cost. Now, some differences between Scout IQ and Scoutify is Scout IQ is for BMVD category items such as books, movies, video games, and DVDs, whereas Scoutify is for any sort of category on Amazon. So, a few more things about Scoutify. It is for mobile use only, and it's available on the Google Play and Apple stores, and it requires Wi-Fi or mobile data to use. Now let's go ahead and look at our settings really quick. So right down here, we have our settings. We can go ahead and select that. All right, so let's go ahead. We see here we have our ideal buy as well as our Amazon restrictions. Now here's where we can set up our desired ROI as well. So let's go ahead and be a little bit more ambitious. Let's say we're going for 50% ROI. Then again, we have our shipping rate, our default sales tax, and a discount if we'd want to add it, as well as our estimated storage time. All of these settings did carry over from Scout, from the desktop site. So anything that you change in here will be changed in the desktop. Anything that you change in the desktop will be changed here in the app. All right, let's go ahead and search for some products. So you can either go to the magnifying glass and type in maybe like some keywords or product details or an ASIN, or you can scan the UPC of the product by using this little thing right here in the center, this little barcode. So let's go ahead and select that, scan that barcode, and here are our results. So we have some ideal buys. It is letting us know that it is hazmat. So let's go ahead and select this right here. There we go. It looks pretty similar to Scout, except for it's on our phone and directly in our hands now. We can carry it around. So we have, the rank, category, weight and dimensions, whether props required, and if you have any on hand is available at the top as well. So we can actually change this to be either FBA or MFN, same with Scout by clicking right here. So we can calculate either FBA or MFN. The difference between FBA and MFN will have an option to add your estimated MFN shipping, whereas with FBA, you will not be required to add that because you don't pay for the shipping to the customer. Amazon handles that. So that's the only difference. Let's go ahead and enter in a cost per unit for what we found it for. So let's say we found it for $3.50. So let's save changes. And now we can see our profitability. So it has our cost per unit as well as the list price. Our net profit is 39 cents. If it were MFN, our net profit would be $4.53. And then our ROI is only about 10%. We can see all the offers down here if we'd like to. We can see that the buy box is currently $8.98. And we can see our profitability on this next page again. This looks super familiar, just like we looked at in Scout. And we can see here we have a lot of our expenses laid out for us and that handy little visual at the bottom. You can also see the history, if we've ever sold this ASIN before or purchased it. Then you can also see the storage graph as a table. Now let's go ahead and add this item to what's called a buy list. A buy list is what you or your employees can make while they're out and about sourcing. And if they want to purchase the item and actually list it, you can just add it to a buy list and we capture all that accounting information for you without you having to re-enter it when it's time to list. So let's go ahead and click right here where it says add. And it already has our cost per unit inserted, but we can go ahead and enter our quantity if we'd like, how many we bought, our list price, our purchase date. It will default to today, but you can change it to whatever you like. You can also add an expiration date if you need to. Your supplier is going to carry over from the last one that you entered, but you can enter a new one if you'd like to. Just keep in mind that the next item that you add to your buy list will also have that supplier if you don't change it. We have our condition as well as our tax rate and our discount code, and then we can select which buy list to actually add it to. So these are all of our active buy lists right now. So if you have multiple people that are sourcing for you, they can each have their own buy list. They shouldn't have to add it to, just one buy list. So you can tell who sourced what. Let's go ahead and select Andrea's list. And now we can just add to our buy list. Now we see here this little cart went from 81 to 82. And we can see all of our active buy lists right here. So if we go to Andrea's list, these are all the items that I've sourced with this phone. And if we'd like to, we can actually email a CSV version of this to ourselves. Maybe we want to keep it for our records by selecting the paper plane. It's going to bring up this with some email addresses. It's going to have your recently used one, so you don't have to type it in every time. And we just send. But the beauty of buy lists is we don't actually have to send it to ourselves or do anything after this point if we want to list our products. This buy list is actually automatically available for us inside of InventoryLab for us to list. So that includes all of the quantity and the item cost and all that accounting information that you might want to capture while you're listing. All right, and this is ScoutX. So ScoutX is a Google Chrome browser extension that's designed to help you make informed purchasing decisions. And it does this by providing quick access to a product's restrictions, variations, the category, rank, and also the fee details. So this shows up when you view a product's detail page in Amazon. Right now, it only works on Amazon.com. And ScoutX provides a breakdown of key data, including selling restrictions, available variation, product category, sales rank, and fee details. So we can see here, this is the buy box. If we want to, we can see there is one offer that's buy box eligible. If Amazon were the seller, that would show up right here, their price. But we have the low MFN and the low FBA as well. Now below that, we have our rank, graph, offers, and reviews. So we can look at the rank of this item for the past 30 days. We can see exactly how many drops there were, the average rank, and the new average price. So all that information is down here. You can see the Amazon stockout rate and the FBA and MFN stockout rates as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at this graph. So this graph is going to be a pricing history graph, price and rank. So we can see here, if we hover over the graph, we can see the exact pricing history. We can go ahead and view all if we want to, see the entire price history of this product, or we can go ahead and do like a day or a few other custom views as well. Next, this is where we can select our list price. So it's going to automatically match that buy box, but we can change it to maybe the low MFN if we want to. So we can do that here. Then we have our buy cost. So let's say we actually bought this for $101.99. We can see our target cost is a bit different than it is. Okay. Now again, if I go to my settings and I can see the desired ROI, it does not carry over from our desktop or our app Scoutify. So the desired ROI will have to be entered separately from those applications, as well as the sales tax and the discount. So to get that ROI, we can see right here, this is our target cost of MFN and FBA. If you select that price, it's going to go ahead and fill everything in. You can see exactly how many offers there are for MFN and FBA. And by clicking on them, it's going to show me their ratings, their condition, the delivery date, and how much is in stock and what the buy box is. So below that, we have our net profit. So I can actually click on this I and it will give me an entire total breakdown of everything that is accounted for when we are trying to figure out our numbers. So some of this comes from Amazon, some of it is inputted by us on our own. So you can check that out there. Then below that, we can see our actual ROI percentage as well as the profit margin. And then we have our product information such as the ASIN, the dimensions, the weight, and the size tier as well. Now we do have our custom research shortcuts down here, but we also have a link to eBay, Google, Camel, and we can also add this item as well to either unlisted inventory directly in InventoryLab, or we can add it to a Google Sheet. If we add it to unlisted inventory, it does pull up InventoryLab automatically for me, and it's going to prompt me to actually add this into our unlisted inventory. So it's going to create an MSKU for me. I can do the purchase date will default to today, but you can select whichever date actually works. Then we can do our quantity, how many we purchased, and all this other stuff is additional information that's optional, but you can enter it, such as an expiration date, the supplier where you actually got it from, the condition. The cost per unit does carry over from ScoutX, so no need to enter that information in. And then you can add tags to your items as well. Let's go ahead and add it to unlisted inventory. It's going to show up right here for us. Now going back to Scout, we can also add it to a Google Sheet. So you can go ahead and select this here. You can add a note if you'd like. And then we click Submit. Now to view the Google Sheet, you go ahead and click the Google Sheet icon up here. And you can actually see your spreadsheets as well as your account that you have hooked up to ScoutX. So you can select which ones are active as well as which ones you want to either edit or unlink. So you can look at our new spreadsheet, and these are all the items that we have added to the spreadsheet through ScoutX. And that brings us to the end of our scouting with InventoryLab portion. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you got a lot out of learning how to use Scout, Scoutify, and ScoutX. I'll see you next time.